Hi, I'm Marna, and this is the Twin Flame Detox. As an editorial note, I am filming this on May 31st, 2020. Those of you who find it in the future may remember this is a rather tumultuous time. Now, part of the Twin Flame Detox is finding peace and harmony within yourself. How do you do that when there's no peace and harmony in the world outside? How do you find a source of peace when it feels like the world is burning down around you? It's a good question. I mean, we are all affected by external energies. We know this. And this is why I've been talking about identifying the external energies and blocking yourself off from feeling them. So remember that parka exercise. It should be right up here from part 1. Use it. Put on your imaginary coat to block out the negative energies in your environment. Because in the end, when you are coming into harmony with yourself, those environmental energies are not going to matter, no matter how pervasive they may be. What is going to matter is going to be the energy within you. So, let's say you've worked the parka exercise. You've got your parka on, you've got the hood pulled up, you are insulated from the outside energies. Now, how do you find peace within yourself? For a lot of people, the first time they meditate is a very scary thing. If you are not used to looking within yourself, then actually confronting what's inside your head really can be intimidating. A lot of us have our own personal demons that we have carried with us our entire lives, whether we want to admit that they're there or not. I know for me, most of my demons stem from a fear of abandonment. I was abandoned with relatives when I was 4 years old by my father, who was dealing with a wife that was critically ill and could not handle a small child at the time. As an adult, I understand why he chose to do what he did. I still do not agree with his methods because he never bothered to tell me what was happening or why. And it wasn't until after he had passed away that my mother told me she had objected to it too. So, we all have issues. And those issues go on to affect us as we become adults. A lot of us have dealt with those issues, I know I did, by pushing them into a little box labeled "Do Not Open" and tucked away in a hidden corner of your mental attic. And then you start meditating, and you go into that quiet, peaceful place. You watch your favorite YouTube video that shows you the steps to do it. You get there, you're in your private, quiet, peaceful place. By the way, this is one of my favorite meditations right here. And while you're there, suddenly that box opens up. And that fear comes creeping out. And suddenly you're 4 years old and watching Daddy drive away and leaving you alone at a stranger's house again. Tell me how that wouldn't be terrifying for anyone, even as an adult. So, what do you do? Now, the obvious answer is you either push it back in the box or you grab a sword and fight it until nothingness. But not everyone knows how to do that. And since this detox is based on helping people overcome issues that they haven't had to deal with before, let's talk about this for a minute. The extended of this video is going to go into great depth on what all of this means. My extendeds are generally 20 minutes or so, as opposed to the 5 to 7 minutes of the shorter ones. So, information for the extended is in the box below. When you're in your meditative place and you start feeling those uncomfortable emotions creeping around, you could run screaming. You can knock yourself out of your meditation. Or you can look at the fear that those issues hide. What are you truly afraid of? What is the source of the fear that you see within you? Confront that fear. For me, it was hugging a 4-year-old version of myself and saying, "You are loved. You were not bad. You did not deserve to be left behind. This was an act of love. You are loved. You will always be loved." It took reassuring a younger version of myself to be able to fight off that demon of fear. And it's not something I've only had to do once. It's something that I've had to repeat several times. Every time that particular demon starts gnawing at the edges of my self-consciousness. So, look at your fear. Rationally look at it. If that means you have to stop for a while, go have a drink, take a shower, whatever, calm yourself down and then look at it. Not as an enemy, not as something to be afraid of. Look at the source of it within you. If you've ever worked with teachers, one of the things that teachers are told to do with a child who's acting out is to stand with that child and love them more. Because a child acts out in the hopes of getting attention. The same is true for the parts of you that are wounded. Those fears are your wounded psyche reaching out for attention. So give it to them. Stand with those fears. Get to know the source of them. And when you can love and accept the source of those fears, then they just fade away. So, thank you for joining me. I'm Marna, and this is the Twin Flame Detox.